Before we begin, if you're listening to this alone at night, you're exactly where you should be. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more true horror stories, disturbing encounters, and unexplained events uploaded every day. Now lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's get into tonight's stories. Every hotel employee carries a master key. Housekeeping uses it. Maintenance uses it. Managers use it. It's designed to open every guest room in the building. At least, every room that's supposed to exist. The hotel where I worked had 214 rooms. I knew every hallway, every stairwell, every maintenance closet. I could have walked the property blindfolded. Then one night, my master key unlocked a room that wasn't on the floor plan. The strangest part wasn't the room. It was the fact that someone inside had apparently been expecting me. This happened during the winter of 2023. I worked as the overnight maintenance technician at a business hotel outside Denver, Colorado. Unlike the front desk staff, I spent most of my shift walking the property, fixing plumbing issues, replacing burned-out light bulbs, resetting HVAC systems, helping guests who locked themselves out. It wasn't exciting, but it was quiet. Most nights, the loudest sound in the building came from the ice machines. Around 2:30 a.m., the front desk called over the radio. "We've got a report of water dripping onto the ceiling in room 618. Water leaks couldn't wait until morning." I grabbed my tool bag, my flashlight, and my master key. Room 618 sat on the 6th floor. The guest showed me a damp stain forming near the bathroom. I apologized, explained I'd check the room directly above. Room 718. The hallway upstairs was completely empty. I knocked. No answer. I checked the occupancy report on my work phone. Room 718 was vacant. Perfect. I scanned my master key. The lock flashed green. The door opened. The room was empty. Exactly as expected. No leak. No running water. Nothing. I checked the plumbing. Dry. The ceiling. Dry. The bathroom. Dry. I couldn't find anything wrong. As I stepped back into the hallway, I noticed another door. Room 719. My stomach tightened, because room 718 should have been the last room on that side of the building. According to every floor map, the hallway ended there. Still, maybe I'd simply never paid attention. Reasonable explanation, at least initially. I walked toward the door. The number plate looked older than the others, slightly tarnished. The wallpaper around the frame didn't match the rest of the hallway, almost like it belonged to another renovation. Curiosity got the better of me. I scanned my master key. Green light. Click. The door unlocked. The room beyond was dark, cold, completely silent. I reached for the light switch. Nothing happened. My flashlight swept slowly across the room. Old furniture, heavy curtains, a wooden writing desk, an old tube television. Nothing matched the renovated hotel surrounding it. It looked like a guest room frozen sometime in the late 1980s. Then I heard a voice. Quiet. Calm. From somewhere near the window. "You took longer than the last one." Every muscle in my body locked. I swung my flashlight toward the voice. The room was empty. I backed into the hallway immediately, pulled the door shut, then looked at the number again. I hurried downstairs. The front desk clerk frowned when I mentioned the room. "What room?" 719. She turned the monitor toward me. The 6th floor ended with room 718. There was number 719. I laughed nervously. Thought maybe I was more tired than I realized. Then I showed her my work key log. Every master key swipe was automatically recorded. The final entry read, 2:41 a.m., room 719. The clerk's expression changed immediately. The following morning, engineering pulled the original blueprints. Every guest room appeared exactly where expected. No room 719. No missing hallway. Nothing. A week later, the hotel manager quietly asked me not to discuss the incident with other employees. No explanation. Just, let it go. I tried, for almost a month. Then one rainy night, a guest called the front desk. He sounded confused. He asked why someone had slipped a handwritten note under his door. The clerk asked for his room number. He answered, 719. The lobby went silent, because according to the computer, the guest was staying in room 718. Security reviewed every hallway camera. The The guest walked to the end of the corridor. Then, instead of entering room 718, he unlocked a door just beyond it, a door that wasn't visible on any other camera angle. When the footage switched to the opposite hallway camera, the guest simply disappeared. Police searched the entire floor the next morning. Every wall, every utility shaft, every maintenance space. They found nothing. No hidden room. No concealed doorway. Nothing. The guest had already checked out. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. Months later, I accepted a maintenance position at another hotel. Different city, different company, different building. On my last day, I returned my master key. The security office downloaded its final access log before deleting it. The supervisor frowned, then looked at me. There must be a system error. I asked why. He slowly turned the monitor toward me. The log showed one final key swipe, recorded 3 minutes after I'd handed the key back. Room 719, access granted. No one ever figured out how that happened, and I've never volunteered to work another overnight hotel shift since. One of the first things you learn working in a hotel is that guests forget things. Phone chargers, toothbrushes, shoes, jackets, sometimes expensive jewelry, sometimes passports. Lost and found closets fill up faster than you'd expect. But nobody forgets an entire suitcase, especially not the same suitcase. Every single morning. Room 1108 checked out almost every day. Housekeeping cleaned it. The room sat empty. Then, just before the next guest arrived, someone always found one black suitcase sitting beside the bed. No luggage tags, no owner, no explanation. The strange part wasn't that it kept appearing. The strange part was, security footage proved no one ever carried it inside. This happened in the spring of 2023. I worked as the assistant housekeeping supervisor at a large convention hotel outside San Antonio, Texas. The hotel had over 400 rooms. Weekends were chaotic. Business conferences, wedding parties, sports teams, hundreds of guests checking in and out within hours. Housekeeping had strict routines. Every room had to be inspected before new arrivals. Mistakes weren't acceptable. Room 1108 looked completely ordinary. King bed, desk, large window overlooking the parking lot. Nothing unusual. It became my responsibility only because 3 different housekeepers filed identical reports. Each claimed they found the same suitcase after cleaning the room. Management assumed they simply overlooked it. Reasonable explanation, at least initially. One Monday morning, I cleaned room 1108 myself. Personally, I checked every closet, every drawer, under the bed, inside the bathroom. Nothing remained. I photographed the room, locked the door, logged the inspection. 30 minutes later, the front desk called. A guest had just checked into 1108. They wanted to know why another guest's luggage had been left inside. My stomach tightened, because I'd been the last person in that room. I hurried upstairs. There it was, a medium-sized black suitcase, standing neatly beside the bed, exactly where the new guest described. The guest insisted it hadn't been there when he first entered. He noticed it only after unpacking his own belongings. Security reviewed the hallway cameras. Nobody entered after I left. The electronic lock recorded no additional key cards. No housekeeping. No maintenance. Nothing. The suitcase was brought downstairs. Lost and found logged it. Security opened it in the manager's office. Inside, perfectly folded men's clothing. A shaving kit. A leather notebook. Everything looked normal. Except, every clothing label had been carefully removed. No identification anywhere. Police collected the luggage. No owner was ever located. 3 days later, room 1108 checked out again. Housekeeping cleaned it, inspected it, locked it. 20 minutes later, the suitcase returned. Exactly the same. This time, I secretly placed a small sticker underneath one wheel before security collected it. The police stored the suitcase in their evidence room. The following morning, room 1108 produced another suitcase. Same appearance, same scratches, same zipper. When I lifted it, the sticker remained underneath. My blood immediately ran cold, because it wasn't another identical suitcase. It was the same one. The detective handling the case confirmed something impossible. The original suitcase had never left police custody. It remained locked inside evidence. Yet somehow, the identical suitcase inside room 1108 still carried my hidden sticker. The investigation expanded. Engineering inspected the room. Every wall, ceiling, air vents. Nothing. No hidden entrances. No concealed panels. Nothing. Eventually the hotel closed room 1108 temporarily. No guests. No housekeeping. Nobody entered. A week later, management reopened the room. The first guest stayed only one night. When housekeeping entered the following morning, they found the suitcase again. Only this time, it wasn't closed. The lid stood partially open. Inside, everything looked exactly as before, except for the notebook, previously blank. Now, one page contained handwriting. Only one sentence. "You keep moving my things." Nobody in the room admitted writing it. Police took the notebook. Handwriting experts couldn't identify the author. Months passed. The room continued producing the suitcase. Eventually ownership decided to renovate the entire 11th floor. Room 1108 was completely stripped. Drywall removed. Flooring replaced. Furniture discarded. Everything. During demolition, construction workers discovered something hidden beneath the original subfloor. A small brass luggage tag, severely tarnished. Still readable. It displayed a room number. Beneath it, one surname. The same surname found inside old guest registration books from almost 30 years earlier. Management quietly refused to discuss the discovery. The renovation continued. The room reopened. I transferred to another property shortly afterward. Different hotel. Different position. I assumed I'd never think about room 1108 again. Until almost a year later, while attending a hospitality conference, I checked into an unrelated hotel across the state. The bellman placed my luggage beside the bed, then apologized. "I'm sorry," he said. "I thought this suitcase belonged to you." I looked down. Standing beside my own luggage was a medium-sized black suitcase. Same scratches, same worn handle, same brass zipper. The bellman looked confused. "I could have sworn you carried it upstairs." I hadn't. I reached beneath one wheel. My faded inspection sticker was still there. I checked out before sunrise. I left every piece of luggage behind, except my own. I never looked back, because some forgotten belongings don't actually belong to the hotel. Guests never use the employee elevator. They don't even know it exists. It's hidden behind an unmarked gray door near the laundry room. Only hotel staff have keycard access. Housekeeping, maintenance, engineering, management. If that elevator moves after midnight, it's supposed to be one of us. At least, that's what I believed. Until every night at exactly 3:33 a.m., the employee elevator opened on the service level. Someone stepped inside. The doors closed. The elevator traveled through the building, stopped on 6 different floors, then returned to the basement. When the doors opened again, it was empty. The strange part wasn't the missing person. The strange part was, according to the access logs, nobody had ever called the elevator in the first place. This happened during the fall of 2023. At the time, I worked as an overnight engineering technician at a large convention hotel outside Orlando, Florida. The property had nearly 500 guest rooms, 3 restaurants, 2 ballrooms, a fitness center, an underground service level that guests never saw. Most of my shift involved fixing things quietly while everyone slept. Burned out lights, leaking faucets, air conditioning complaints. Nothing exciting. The employee elevator connected every floor. Unlike the guest elevators, it also stopped at laundry, maintenance, and mechanical levels. Only staff keycards could operate it. Every ride was automatically recorded. Every floor selection. Every door opening. Everything. One Thursday morning, I noticed something unusual while reviewing maintenance logs. Elevator S. One had completed 12 trips overnight. Only 6 employees had used it. That left 6 unexplained trips. I assumed housekeeping had forgotten to scan their badges. Reasonable enough, at least initially. The next morning, the same thing happened. Exactly 6 unexplained trips. Everyone beginning at 3:33 a.m. Curiosity slowly took over. I checked the security recordings. The basement camera overlooked the employee elevator. At 3:33, the doors opened. Nobody stood outside. Nobody walked in. Then, the elevator doors quietly closed. The cab began moving. My stomach tightened, because the elevator had clearly accepted a passenger, without anyone entering. I mentioned it to the chief engineer. He shrugged. Probably a sensor. The elevator company inspected everything. Door sensors, weight sensors, control boards. Nothing. The system passed every test. The strange trips continued anyway. Every night. 3:33. Exactly. One Monday, I decided to wait beside the elevator. At 3:31, the basement remained silent. Laundry machines were off. Maintenance shops were locked. Only emergency lighting illuminated the corridor. 3:33. The elevator chimed. The doors slid open. Empty. Then I felt something. A brief rush of cold air brushed past my shoulder. Not from inside the elevator. Past me. Toward it. Before I could react, the doors closed. The floor display climbed. B2. Lobby. Penthouse. Then returned to the basement. When the doors opened, the cab was empty again. The following morning, I reviewed the interior camera. My blood immediately ran cold. The recording showed the empty elevator. Then, for only 2 frames, someone appeared standing in the back corner, wearing an old hotel maintenance uniform. Head lowered, hands folded in front of them. The next frame, the corner was empty again. Digital zoom made the image worse. Not better. The figure blurred unnaturally, almost as if the camera couldn't focus on it. I showed the footage to Frank, the oldest maintenance employee. He stared silently for several seconds, then quietly asked, "Was it 3:33 again?" I hadn't mentioned the time. Frank sighed. Years before I was hired, the hotel underwent a major renovation. During the project, an overnight maintenance technician reportedly disappeared while responding to an elevator alarm. No witnesses, no explanation. The official investigation never determined what happened. Eventually, people stopped talking about it. Mostly. A week later, management ordered a complete shutdown of elevator S1. It remained out of service for 48 hours. Every control module was replaced. New wiring, new software, everything. The first night after repairs, 3:33, the elevator alarm returned. This time, the computer displayed something new. Passenger load detected. Estimated weight, 182 pounds. Security immediately checked every floor. Nobody. Every service hallway remained empty. No doors opened. No alarms triggered. Nothing. The investigation intensified. Corporate engineers downloaded months of elevator data. One analyst eventually noticed something strange. The unexplained trips always stopped on the exact same 6 floors. Never more. Never fewer. When they overlaid the route with old renovation blueprints, every stop matched locations where major structural work had taken place years earlier. Mechanical room, laundry, ballroom ceiling, roof access, loading dock, basement, the exact route maintenance crews once followed during overnight inspections. Construction crews later removed an old wall inside the basement workshop. Behind it they discovered a sealed maintenance office, covered in dust, old blueprints still pinned to the wall, rusted lockers, a desk. On top of the desk sat an employee logbook. The final completed entry ended at 3:33 a.m. The last line read, "Responding to elevator alarm. I'll be right back." There were no further entries. The office was preserved as part of the investigation. The elevator remained in service. Management quietly reassigned overnight staff, so nobody worked alone. I transferred to another property a few months later. Different city, different hotel, different elevators. On my final night, I returned my master key and employee badge. As I walked through the basement one last time, the employee elevator chimed behind me. I turned. The doors stood open. Empty. Waiting. Mounted beside the control panel. A digital floor indicator glowed softly. Instead of showing a floor number, it displayed a message I'd never seen before. Maintenance complete. The doors slowly closed. The elevator left without anyone inside. At least, without anyone I could see. I still work in hotels. I still use employee elevators almost every night. But if one opens in front of me, and there's no call button lit, I let the doors close. Because sometimes, the elevator isn't arriving for you. Sometimes, it's picking up someone who's still trying to finish their shift.